In the quiet hours before the world wakes, the ice is untouched, waiting. Every edge carved into its surface tells a story of discipline, sacrifice, and something deeper. For these skaters, it's more than a sport, it's a rhythm, a ritual, a relentless pursuit of perfection. Long before the spotlight, before the applause, there are early mornings, silent falls, and the courage to rise again. This is where passion meets perseverance, one glide at a time.
When I was 5, I saw figure skating on TV, and around that time, I was starting to go to school, and I was bored every day after school because my mom worked from home. So my mom was trying to figure out which sports I liked, and since I'd seen figure skating on TV, I said, I wanna ice skate.
I just loved how it's just so fun to glide on the ice and improve. When I was little, of course I would see a lot of figure skating videos and want to try it. But also, when I was little, we were out walking around at the mall, and then I saw the ice rink and I wanted to try it. And then the first time I tried it, it just felt a lot of fun to be able to move so quickly and smoothly on the ice.
Well, my sister was doing it first, so then when I got a little older, I started it, and I just liked it.
I saw ice skating was, I think, when I was 5, and I was copying in my condo, my home. I was copying this video of ice skating, and I'm like, hey, Thomas, Mommy, watch me, because I was copying it. But then, when I finally saw it, I'm like, I want to do ice skating, so I begged my mom for months.
My mom kind of made me do it, and then when I started getting good, it was pretty fun.
More fun after. Okay. Did you feel scared when your mom started trying to make you go ice skating? Or what was your reaction?
I used to feel scared whenever I got hurt or fell.
Because this is a sport that you can't just do it a few times a week and advance. It's something that just requires dedication for every day, pretty much 6 days a week if you want to really take it to the next level, because your body seems to reset itself after being off the ice for a day. So you need to keep being on the ice.
When Alana was really little, I took her ice skating because that's something that I grew up with, not in a professional way and not in a training way like the kids, but just as a recreational way. And I took her to the ice stadium, and she put her skates on. We entered the ice. She didn't want to hold my hand. She didn't want to hold on to the side. She just wanted to go. And she must have fallen 200 times that day. But after the session, she was able to ride around the rink, and she was barely 3 years old, and she was having a blast. And that's when I knew that she loved it, and I enrolled her in her first lessons. And then I had my second one, Maya, and she just tagged along to the rink until she was able to walk on skates as well. And she was able to come, and of course, little sister wants to do what big sister wants to do.
Gemma started asking to learn how to skate when she was only 5 years old, and about 6 months into taking lessons, she asked me for private lessons at 6 years old, and that's when I realized oh man, she's really into this. This is a big deal. She really likes this sport. And then a year later, she started asking when she could start to compete, and I realized that's it. You're in it. I'm in my second full-time job.
A typical week for us would be Tuesday mornings. We wake up super early. Sometimes our coaches want us on the ice by 5:30. Sometimes they want us on the ice by 6. Usually that's the latest. So we live at about 30 minutes away. I wake up by 4. We're out the door by 4:50, 5:20-ish, to get here. And my kids skate for an hour in the morning on Tuesdays. We do the same exact thing on Thursdays. And then they come back for skating on Tuesday afternoon after school. And then Saturdays, we're here pretty much all morning from 9 until about noon.
I mean, jumps is a big one if they're going the singles route, right? They're constantly learning, and the problem that they have to deal with every day is that they're growing. So every time they grow, their center of gravity changes. Yeah, and then just honestly, as they get smarter and their brains change and develop, and their equilibrium changes. So there's just constant things. It's not like they can just do it once and then just leave it, and it's a skill that's there. It's something that once they have that skill developed, and then they've done it and they've stopped growing, then they can kind of back off, and that skill will stay with them for most of their lives.
Well, for like my freestyle sessions and stuff, usually I like to start with some spins or jumps, and then towards the end and then I do my choreo, but then towards the end, for the last like 5 minutes or so, I like to just practice like fun things like spread eagles and ballards. Landing my axle because I got hurt a lot. I even sprained my wrist, but I can still ice skate.
Okay. How does it feel when you finally landed the axle?
I don't know, it feels exciting actually.
Okay.
Really exciting.
Really exciting. Yeah, Toothless is a fan. We've seen him around every day, every time you're here.
Definitely my camel spin.
What is that?
It's like where you're like, so it's like spinning, of course, and like it's like a spiral, and it's like a spiral while you're spinning, kind of.
Really hard to do a shoot the duck.
What's that?
It's basically where you go into a squatting position, but with one leg out forward off the ice, so you're on one leg gliding forward in a squatting.
Well, I don't really know. I didn't really have to learn anything, but I learned it, but it wasn't too hard to learn.
Okay.
Just to do a little.
Practice.
Based on the skater. Sometimes you've got these really, really big go-getter skaters that are not afraid of challenges. They're not afraid of skating. So for them, a lot of the challenges that they face is simply just kind of reining it in, and they get so excited, and they're like, oh, and then sometimes the emotions will just kind of take over, and they'll forget stuff because they've only been thinking, they're so excited. It's like a puppy dog almost. They're just so much emotion. And then sometimes the other way is some kids are very nervous. They'll get very nervous because it's their first time performing. They don't know what to expect. They're scared, suddenly there's big crowds, and there's judges, and then they're trying to prepare their face. So there's a lot of different things that they struggle with beforehand. But I'd say the biggest challenges for them is usually their own emotions, and just being able to manage that while they go in, trying to make sure that they're confident in what they've done. They trust the coaches and the parents are preparing them, and they have prepared them. So I'd say that's probably the biggest challenges for a lot of the skaters.
I feel like that happens a lot for us, and I think that's something that we come across a lot, and so the first thing that I usually do is I let her express her feelings respectfully. I hug her. I give her time, and then once she's emotionally ready to circle back to it, I just remind her about what her goals were. We talk about what frustrated her. I always ask her, are you still having fun? I always ask her, do you still want to skate? And then we kind of move forward from there. But circling back to what her goals were, to kind of realign her with her focus is really important. And then if there are, we actually have a discussion about what's frustrated her, and if there are barriers or roadblocks that we can remove to kind of ease that pain. This sport is such a big commitment, and even though my child is probably on the lower end of that big commitment, I don't ever want it to feel overwhelming or frustrating for her. And so every time that I involve her in decisions and make her like a part of the process, I think it helps her feel like she's being heard and it helps her confidence. So
you can be warm but cold at the same time. Like you have like a ton of goosebumps and you're like nervous but excited. Like while you're backstage getting ready, that's where it's the worst. But then once you're on the ice, then it just feels normal. Like I can say, for last season, I was thinking in my head, okay, it's fine if you laugh. If you make a mistake, it'll be fine because it'll look like it's part of your routine because I was a clown and I did do a bunch of purposeful falls.
That I actually like really liked competing because it just feels good to like get a place, honestly.
I feel very, very excited.
Very excited. Okay. How does it feel when you place? You know, in your other competition.
I feel very proud of myself.
Feels like very nice. Like you have the whole, like imagine you're on a stage and you have it just to yourself, and everyone's watching, so all the attention is to you. So.
You like all the attention to you when you're on the ice?
I really like before when we get ready with all the hair and makeup.
Oh, okay. Hair and makeup, future stars maybe.
On Audrey to gain confidence, discipline, and resilience through skating. And whether she continues skating or not, I want her to experience the joy of working hard toward a goal. And I want her to learn lessons from challenges because it's such a challenging sport. Whatever she pursues in the future, I'm sure the lessons she learned from it will benefit her definitely.
Dedication is probably one of the top 3 words that you would have to describe in skating, that you would describe skating. What you put in is what you will get out of it. So if you put in the hours, you put in the time, you will most likely see the results being fruitful. And even if you aren't as dedicated, you're not going down the Olympic route, it's still showing that you are dedicated to something that you really love to do. Even if it's a hobby or even if it's something that you just do for exercise, I think that your dedication really speaks to how much you get out of skating.
After months of early mornings, aching muscles, and quiet determination, the moment finally arrives. Under the bright lights and before a silent waiting crowd, they step onto the ice, not just as skaters, but as the sum of every fall, every retry, every small victory along the way. And when the music fades, the results speak clearly, not just in scores or medals, but in confidence and grace, and how far they've come. But this is not the end. This is only the first competition of the season. And for these girls, it's just the beginning of what's still to come.